like this. No. Do you want to say, ah! Do you want to say hi to the little camera, you little demonic purr box? Huh? Huh? Are you gonna sit here and behave? Hey you guys, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my October TBR. So before I get into it, sorry about the weird little gap between videos last month. September was a little crazy for me, and I not only got sick and lost my voice, which is fun when you're trying to film videos and you sound like a croaky little child, but there was a lot of issues with my classes, and it was kind of affecting my mental health, so I thought a little break to kind of figure out myself and have time to myself would be a good idea. But we're back in October, and I'm really excited for the books that I'm going to be reading this month, and hopefully and as well as kind of the videos that I have planned. So hopefully nothing kind of gets in the way of that. But before I continue babbling, let's just jump right into the video. So the first book on my TBR was something that was already on my TBR in September, yes. And I didn't get a chance to finish it because I started on the last leg, literally probably 2 days before October started. But that is A Picture of Dorian Gray. And for those of you guys who don't know, this is kind of another reread for me. It's probably one of my favorite classic books. And I just forgot how much I have a love-hate relationship with Dorian and how much I adore Sybil, even though she's a very naive child. And it's just, okay. But for those of you guys who don't know, The Picture of Dorian Gray is basically about Dorian Gray who gets his portrait done, and as he commits these sins or things that aren't considered okay during this time period, his portrait begins to age and get older, and while he stays forever young in a sense. It's just kind of him, how his progression in character has slowly gone down as he realizes he's basically immortally young and can stay that way because his portrait will always be old and will slowly begin to be old. And then, yeah, that's kind of it without giving you guys too much of a spoiler. But yeah, so I'm about 72 pages into this book, and it's I always have, no, I don't have issues with it, but it's just once I get into the book, it's hard for me to put it down. It's just one of those books for me that I will probably always love. And look at this cover. How can you not adore this cover? It's so aesthetically pleasing, and I just love it. I just love it so much. The next book on my TBR is kind of another one that is kind of something that came out a while ago, and I meant to get around to it, but my book pile just kept growing and growing, and I just never got the chance to. But hopefully with Halloween coming around, this is kind of a book that I want to get into. I don't know why it just screams Halloween to me, but it just does. But who knows? I could be completely wrong once I read this book. But that is Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. Yes, Ahdieh. And I don't know a ton about this book. I tried not to read the synopsis or any kind of reviews on it because this is I've heard good things about it, and I've heard good things about it, and this is about it's another Milan version, but only set in, I believe, Japan. Yes, Japan. I'm assuming just by the name, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, and hopefully that once I get to it, I'll get the chance to read it and enjoy it just as much as everyone else has. But I don't know, we'll see. Again, I don't know why this is making me think of Halloween per se, but maybe it's just because of the cover and the bright colors, which isn't scream Halloween, but maybe the premise of Milan and dressing up and going off to fight bad guys, and it's just we'll see how I like it. Alright, so the next book on my TBR is kind of something I want to hold off for a bit, if that makes sense, but I don't want to hold off for it because I'll see spoilers everywhere. This book I think just came out over the summer, and I have been binge reading the previous two books, and I finally have the last book on me. I saw it at Barnes & Noble, and I couldn't not say no to it. It was just taunting me Therese, come read me, please, Therese, come. And on top of that, whenever I go on Tumblr, there are so many little itty-bitty spoilers, and I can't not read this in fear of spoilers, and I just want to go on Tumblr and reblog all the things and just cry with everyone else on Tumblr, because who doesn't love going on Tumblr to cry about the favorite books you've read? Maybe a lot of people, but you know me. Maybe I'll even, just get into it and start reading like the fan fiction and seeing the fan art, and I'm so excited, but I want to hold off until like maybe like mid-October to start reading this before I get into it, just so that way I'm not like a puddle of tears on the floor, because this book has given me so many feels. Before I start babbling even more, that book is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. So for those of you guys who don't know, or for those of you guys who don't know, this is the conclusion to the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and this is kind of just how everything is tied up. And I've heard so many good things about it, you guys have no idea, and I'm in love with the characters. I love, like, in the beginning, when I first started reading A Court of Mist and Fury. I almost said Wings and Fury. It's one of those days. But when I started reading A Court of Mist and Fury, I was like, I don't know about Rhysand. He's okay, I guess. But Tamlin is where it is. And like, Tamlin is just such a beautiful person. And then I read more into it, and I'm like, Rhys all the way. It's gonna be perfect, and Feyre's gonna be happy forever, and it's just gonna be great. And then we kind of got left with a cliffhanger in the second book. So I'm really, really excited to finish the series out, and hopefully I just keep being in love with the characters that I fell in love with in the second book without giving too many spoilers. But I'm just really, really, really excited. It's just gonna be so great, and I'm gonna be crying, which is why I want to like kind of leave this until like the middle of October, so that way I'll have my wits about myself for the rest of the month, because if not, then I'm just gonna be a mess. We're just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna be a mess. But once I finish this book, hopefully I'll just do like a roundabout like series review, like not just on book, like the last book, but maybe like how I like the first book in comparison to the last one, and how like the character progression went, and that'll probably be a lengthy video, so hopefully we'll have that out. But if I doubt it'll be out this month, honestly, I'm gonna be in tears for like 2 weeks, so we'll see. So the last book on my TBR is going to be a book that everyone kind of talks about, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. And it's been a book that I've been meaning to get into, but you know, like every time I see it, I'm like, oh, it looks so great, and I love it so much. And then other books who will not be named, who should never be named ever, always get kind of in the way, and I just get more excited for those books. And then like this book has been put in the back burner, but I finally picked it up when I went to a secondhand bookstore a couple of weeks ago, so hopefully I'll get a chance to get into it. And it's another book that just screams Halloween, and I think it's just the premise. But so that book is Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and for those of you guys who don't know, Cinder is basically a Cinderella retelling, but with a cyborg. If you can't see, because like the fancy shoe, and then you can't really see it up like from the camera or from other cameras that I've seen, but there's like a little cyborgy kind of foot going on, like skeletal thing going on there. But like I said, everyone's kind of like said a lot of good things about the series and about the books, and I really just kind of want to get into it, and I don't want to like know a lot about it. I've been trying to avoid spoilers, what else? Reviews and everything, just so I can get into it with a fresh, clear like mindset, and hopefully I'll love it just as much as everyone else does. But if not, I'll definitely have a review as to why I didn't enjoy it. But I have a feeling I probably will, because no, stop. Try not to read it. But I have a feeling that I will, because most of the people that I've heard nothing but good from are always the people that I like, that we have a lot of like similarities in terms of like writing styles, people that we read from, why we like them. So hopefully this is another book that I'm just going to enjoy. And I need to stop looking at the back before I spoil anything for myself and ruin it. But yeah, that's it for my TBR. It's kind of a short TBR, I know. I kind of wanted it to be a little longer, but with everything that's been happening in September, and now we're getting into October, which is kind of like the heat of everything in terms of semester-wise, hopefully I'll like get through all of these books, but if not, then we'll see. Like, I'm praying that maybe like my TBRs will slowly get bigger and bigger, and then I'll get through them, but I just kind of want to keep them small and keep my hopes a little low. But yeah, so if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and comment with the books that you're going to be reading in October, or books, if you guys have read any of these books. No spoilers though. Tell me what you guys thought about it and whether or not you'd like to see a review on any of these books that I'm reading. Then go ahead and leave that below. Subscribe for more content. I try to get this out once a week, but sometimes things just kind of pop up. Like a few weeks ago I got sick and then my mental health was kind of down, so we will see. But next week I should be filming my October haul, which isn't that huge, but we'll see. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.